Hello guys, welcome back to my channel Learn with PR. In our previous video, we already understood what sorting is and we also discussed bubble sort in detail with example, C program along with the algorithm. If you have not watched those videos yet, I highly recommend you to watch them first because today's topic is connected to that only. So in bubble sort, we compared adjacent element and swap them repeatedly, right? But today we are going to learn another important sorting technique, that is selection sort, right? So let's get started. So what selection sort is basically, it is very simple algorithm. You have to repeat your, swapping until you get the smallest element, right? So here I have written a simple definition for it. That is what it's a very simple comparison based algorithm technique actually that repeatedly selects the smallest element from the unsorted portion of array and place it at the beginning. So after each pass, one element placed in its correct position. You can say position is index, you can say. Okay. The selected portion from grows from left to right actually. All right. So this is a simple selection sort. All right. So now think about this logically. If I give you some numbers and ask you to arrange them in ascending order, what will you do first? Think. What you will do first, like if I'll say arrange them in ascending order. So yes, you will find the smallest element and then place it in the first location, right? So that is exactly what selection sort does actually, right? So basically the work of the selection sort is we have to assume the first element that is smallest, okay? Now after that we have to compare, actually we have to compare it with all other elements, and then we have to update the minimum, okay, update the minimum when a smaller value is found. Okay, you have to update the minimum value as the smallest value you found actually. Okay, and then we have to swap. Okay, then we have to do swap the smallest with the first position, and then we have to repeat for the remaining elements also, right? This is how your selection means works, right? So now the question is what how is selection sort differ from bubble sort? So in bubble sort we push the largest element to the end in every pass, right? But in selection sort we do something different. What? So here basically we select the smallest element, right, from the unsorted part and place it at the correct position. That is why it is called selection sort, because we are selecting the minimum element in every passes, right? That is why selection, you say selection, we have to select one number, one element from your unsorted array. All right. So now let's check a small program where you will see that how we can do selection, right, of minimum element and how we can swap it, right? So now here example of, here I'm writing example of 5 elements, right, where I have elements as 5, 3, 4, 1 and 2. We want to find the smallest number. Yes. So pass 1. Okay. So pass 1 means we have to assume the first element is the smallest. Okay. So I'm saying this is, I have taken a min value. Okay. I'm saying a min variable is there. I am storing first index value, that is 5. So I'm saying suppose min is 5. So minimum index means the index value of minimum element is what? 0, obviously. Start from 0, n minus 1 it will go. Okay. So minimum index is right. Minimum index value is 0 and the minimum value is 5. So now compare it with the next element. Now you will compare it with 3. So 5 is greater than 3. Yes, that means 3 is smaller. Then you have to update the minimum value. Now you are saying here minimum is 5 right now. Here you are saying minimum is 5 right now, but you when you compare the next element, that is 3, now it will say 3 is greater than 5. Oh, sorry, 3 is smaller than 5. Okay, so if it is smaller than 5, that means yes, now update the value of min. So now here min was 5, now here become 3. So you have updated the value of min variable, that is 3 now. Okay, and then you will say min index. What will be the min index? Obviously, where is 3? Actually 3 is in a 1 index. So you will say min index now updated as 1. Earlier it was 0, but now 5 is not minimum, 3 is minimum right now. Okay, now again compare it with 4. So now you are comparing minimum value, that is 3. Okay, it's comparing with 4. So it will say 4 is greater than 3. No, so 4 is greater than 3 now. So it will say 4 is smaller than 3. No, false. So you will not do any updation because 3 is minimum right now. Okay. Now you will compare with another. So when you are comparing with 1, so it will say 1 is smaller than 3. Yes. Then update the value of your min. We are updating the value of min as 1. What is the value of minimum value? 1. And what is the index value? 0, 1, 2 and 3. So index value become 3. Okay, now you have to compare it with the last element, that is 2. So 2 is greater than 1 now, so it become false. So it will say minimum value is 1 right now. Now you have to do swapping, means right now हमने बेटा swapping नहीं करी है, we are just finding the minimum value right now. Okay, so once we found the minimum value among these 5 elements, then we have to do swapping. And where we have to do swapping, we have to say 1 will go in the first location. Okay, so swap element at index 0 to 3, 0 and 3. So 3 from the minimum index you find 3, right, and the 0 index may you have to give the value, right. To swap element at index 0 and 3. So when you will swap it, so 5 will go in this location and 1 will go in the first location. Okay, so now your array will looks like this. So 1, 3, 4, 5 and 2. Okay, so 1 is fixed in a correct position. All right, now if we are saying this is my right now array, okay, this is the updated array. So now you will say this is sort part, means ये sort हो गया है, ये arrange हो गया है अपने order पे, अपने correct position में वो आ गया है. Now these are unsort. Okay, these still are unsort, so we have to do another pass as well. This was the first pass. For one pass you will make for loop, है ना, for every pass you have to make a for loop. Okay, looping process you have to follow. Okay, now next pass, this is the pass 2. In pass 2 remaining elements are these were the this is the updated array, right. Now these are remaining array, we have to sort it. Now assume, we have to assume min value as 3. So first this value we are saying what, 3. Okay, minimum value is 3 right now, and the index is what, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 is index. Okay, now compare along with 4 and 5 and 2. When you are doing 4, say when you are doing 4 comparison along with 3, right, then it will say no, 3 is smallest. So condition become false, right. 5, so 5 with 3, that means no, condition become false, 3 is smallest, right. When you will say 2 is smaller than 3, then condition become true, right. Now update the minimum value. So the minimum value is 2 and the index value is 4. Now swap index value, index 1, you have to swap the elements at index 1 and 4. Okay, so when you will do it, so 2 will go in here and 3 will go here, like that way. So now this is your updated array. Okay, so this is your updated array, right. 2 is fixed. Now this is your updated array. So here you will see these 2 elements are sort now, but these 3 elements need to be sort right now. Okay, so remaining elements in a pass 3 will become these. Okay, right. So now you have to assume 4 is the minimum value. So this 4 is the index of 0, 1 and 2, 2. So minimum index is 2, right. Now you have to compare this 4 along, you have to compare this 4 with 5. Okay, so when you are doing with 5, that it will say 4 is smallest, so no update minimum value. Okay, but when you will compare with 3, okay, then it will say yes, 3 is smallest, right. Then update the minimum value. Minimum is now 3, index is 4. Okay, index is what, 3. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is the index value. Okay, now you have to swap index 2 and 4. Okay, when you will swap it, then your array will looks like this. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 4 it is. Okay, so 3 now is a correct position. So you will see this 1, 2, 3, these elements are what, sort, right, and these need to be sort, right. Now remaining element are 5 and 4. So minimum, assume minimum as 5, index value become 3. Now compare it, so it will say yes, update the value of min is 4 now, update the minimum index value is 4 again. You have to swap the index values 3 and 4. Okay, now your updated array looks like this. So 4 is fixed. So why to check the last element? It obviously become sorted, right. So now your final array looks like this. Okay, I hope you got this now, this small example of it. So these passes you have to check and later you have to swap. Okay, now let's check out the small program of it in C language. So here I have written A as the array name. I have written N. Okay, and number of elements we will ask, and we will store the elements like this. Okay, now we have to make for selection. So I am making for loop. This is for pass. Okay, so I am making I equals to 0. Okay, I will go till n minus 1, obviously. Okay, n minus 1 time it will go. Last element will be updated easily, right? If all elements are, the remaining elements are already in a order, right, then last will obviously become in order. Okay. Now what we have to do here, we have to take a minimum value first. So I am writing minimum index. Okay, so minimum index, I am saying I, whatever I is right now, I in minimum index, where the minimum value is in the index 0, you can say. Okay, now for comparison, we have to make one for loop for comparison. I am writing j, I am giving j value as I plus 1. Why I am writing I plus 1? Because when the value I is 0 right now, so it will compare with the I plus 1, mean the next element only, na? That's why I am writing. Okay, now j will go till n, obviously, and j will plus plus, j will plus plus. All right, now you have to compare it. How we can compare? We will simply write one if condition, right? A of j is greater than, if it is sorry, smaller, we have to make a smallest element, right, minimum element. So a of j is smaller than a of min index. Okay, if it is true, then update the minimum value that we were doing earlier, right? So we have to update the minimum index value. So we will say j, it will get the j index. Okay, means earlier we were saying that a of j is smaller than a of min. Okay, then we were doing update the element, update the minimum index value. Okay, right? Remember when we were talking about the smallest when we were talking about the smallest element, right? And then we were updating the index value as well. Okay, okay, let me show. Here we were here updating where we were saying minimum is 5, index value is 0. Okay, now we have to compare with another one. So we were comparing with another one, 3. Now 3 is minimum, right? 3 or 5, who is minimum? 3 is minimum. So we were updating the minimum value. I am not writing minimum value right now, I am writing minimum index. So we will update the index value, and when we will say index value, I got 1, that means a of 1. So what is a of 1? What is the value inside a of 1? That is 3. So okay, so that's why we are not writing minimum. So do not confuse yourself, this is for your understanding only. You have to take care of minimum index value. Okay, minimum index value with the help of minimum index value, that only you can, you can find out the value inside it with the help of index value. Okay, all right, now let's back to our program. Okay, so here is my program. So we were saying minimum index, we said here minimum index is 0 when you are saying j plus I plus 1, right? So means it will say j value 1 is smaller than 5. Yes, so it will say aj means a1 is smaller than a of minimum index. So means a of 0. So a1 is smaller than a0. So if it is true, then update the minimum index as j, means in the index of means the value of j, that you will say the minimum value exists. Okay, all right, yes. Now let's write down for now. Once you have updated, means once you check all the elements, j will increase, then again it will check, again it will update the value, again it will check, j increase 2 3 4, right? Like that way, like update the minimum index value. When you are doing it, minimum update kar diya hai, that if will close, your this for is also close, and then do swapping. Okay, I have declared temp. Okay, yes, we have declared already temp. Then I simply write here what temp will get the value of a of j. All right, and then a of j. Okay, sorry, not j, here we have to write I, because now sorry, here we have to write I. Why? Because this j is already over, so we have to take a help of I only. So a of I, so a of I will get the value of a of min index, right? And a of min index will get the value of, this is how we can do swapping, right? We have already discussed this thing in a previous video. Please check those videos also. Okay, so you will see, this will help, that video will help you to understand this program also, right? Now this swapping we have already done. Okay, now I want to ask you one simple question, that now you have noticed something important. What is it? That in bubble sort, in my previous video bubble sort I have already done, please check that thing. Okay, in bubble sort, so there was many swaps actually, but in selection sort there is only one swap, है ना, one swap per passes. Okay, so this is how we can say, this is the important role for this loop open, and here we have closed. Okay, so this is a very important thing. So in bubble sort we were writing the swapping inside it actually, but there was not minimum index, there was not like that. Okay, but my j is starting from 0 that time also, and it will go n minus 1 minus I times, right? So just remove this one, you have to update this thing inside this for loop. Okay, this if statement inside it, right? Then you will say this become your bubble sort. Okay, so you will see in bubble sort there are many swaps actually. Okay, but in selection sort there is only one swap per pass. In every pass you will do only one time swapping. So selection sort performs fewer swaps compared to your bubble sort. Okay, all right, so this is how we can do it. Now we have to simply say what update your array. So we have to display it. So I am writing here now updated elements are, so it will say a little space, don't write this, and printf. We are printing it, that's why we are writing printf. Now run this code. So now a number of elements, if I'm writing number of elements as 5, okay, we were writing 5, 2, 4, 1, and 3. Okay, now this is the updated elements of your array. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like that way you have to do what selection sort. So I hope you now understand how we can do it. What is the basic difference between bubble and selection? So we have to select a minimum element and we have to keep updating when we are getting the smallest value inside your array. Okay. Now let's check how we can make a simple algorithm of it. Okay. So this is a simple example of your selection. And now this is the algorithm. So what algorithm says, we have to start and read the number of elements. We have to give array, okay, array size we have to write, okay, and it will go I0 till n minus 1. And then we have to update the minimum index as I. And j will start from I plus 1 and will go n minus 1. And then you have to check the comparison. Means you have to do comparison. Once you are doing comparison, if you are getting a minimum index value, then we have to update the minimum index as j. And then your for loop, this for loop will over where you are comparing and you are traversing from one location from 0 to n. Okay, not from 0, from 1 to n. Okay, n minus 1. Okay, all right, and then you have to after this, once you are getting the minimum element, then you have to swap. Once you are doing swap, every time you have to check all the elements one by one and then print your array and then stop. So this is a very basic and very simple algorithm you can write, and you can tell in your you can give answer, right, if it's asked by the interviewer. Okay, so I hope you now understand like what is selection, and you also understood the difference between bubble and selection sort, right? So comment below which one you found easier. So in our next video, we will discuss another important sorting technique, that is insertion sort. So make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell. All right. Thank you. If you like this video, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and also share with your friends. Thank you so much. Keep learning. Happy learning.